Let's save this. Hey, y'all. What's up? I'm going to save this. I was going to talk about this, but I was like, not right now. Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, brother? Hey, y'all. Hey, everyone. Hey. What's up, y'all? So welcome back to our channel. We are so glad to have you here. Okay. Hope that you guys are in positive spirits and attracting the life you desire because it's your birthright. Okay. So I'm coming through with a live reading for you guys. Make sure you take the message how it resonates in your life. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. And don't forget, if you love the video, to run it up, right? You know what to do, right? So glad to have you guys here. The energy is crazy. Okay. So I don't know. I've been feeling like a lot of I don't know if it's like a spirit of distraction or just like a monitoring spirit or something is what I've been feeling here. There's something like, something trying to linger over us as a collective as we continue to grow, as we become more aware and conscious of what's going on around us. You're probably paying attention to the monitoring spirits, right? You can probably see that there's a lot going on around you that people don't understand, and maybe you're seeing things through your spiritual eye, and you're starting to understand that life is not what you thought it was at one point, right? It's bigger than that. I feel like right now it's very important to also remember Spirit says that imminent change is here for individuals willing to forget every failure, okay, with the intentions of doing the inner work, addressing our own underlying issues and taking responsibility for our own growth, right? So if you are a person who is, being responsible for your own growth, if you really are out here trying, I don't expect you to be perfect. No one should, right? But if you're out here really striving for better, you're doing better, you're becoming greater, of course you're going to be flawed, and you're going to have things that are not 100%. You won't be just light, right? You're going to have some dark things about you. However, divinity can work with you, right? So you may have little quirky things, little odd things about yourself that may bother other people, that may rub people the wrong way. But know, if you are really trying, you could have like some malfunctions about you, right? You can have some little things that, you really do desire to be better at, and God could just be taking a little bit more time with you. But that doesn't mean that you should give up on yourself, right? So I think that's very important. Imminent changes here. That's like a drastic change. That's like a change that's really going to make a difference. That's like a change where this kind of change shows a different side of life, a different side of understanding, a different side of opportunities, right? There's an imminent change that is here, and it's happening rapidly, right? Change is coming very quickly, okay, for us right now. People who have decided to be on the right side and do the right things. Now, change is also happening for people who decide that they don't want to do the right things. Just as well as we are ascending to light, there are people who are ascending to a great darkness, a darkness that you probably wouldn't be able to comprehend because it's not for you to understand. But just understand that as you are becoming more light, more love, more compassionate, more empathetic, there are people every day who are ascending to a place of darkness. Why? Because they refuse to Do the work. They refuse to believe in anything besides themselves. They refuse to, be open to seeing things a different way, right? And again, you could be a person and you could be like really struggling to change, right? But if you're taking steps, that means you're doing something. See, the only way to change is number one, accountability, right? And I feel like at least you're doing that, right? As long as you're taking accountability, right? Because accountability is hard. It's hard. When you've been doing things a certain way for so long and then you have, the energy of accountability that comes into your life, it can be very hard to hold yourself accountable, right? Because we just want to think that we're just good people. We want to think that, we all want to think that we're great, which we should. But we also should know that we are one mistake away, one decision away from being the person that we used to be. And then we're also one decision away from being everything that we're destined to be, right? So it's very important to constantly pay attention to ourselves, right? Play chess and never checkers, right? So I don't know. Let's see. Let's get a message out here. I hope you guys are doing well. Okay. I missed you guys. We missed you guys. We took a break. And I feel like, we're coming back stronger. God has really been giving us some downloads, some messages. He's been teaching us how to. It's crazy. The two of Wands came out sideways here, and it's crazy because I was like, God has been trying to teach us balance, right? And it's crazy because he has. And this is one of the things that I struggle with. I'm a Sagittarius, right? My son. So I'm wild in my nature. It's very hard for me sometimes to find structure. It's very hard to me sometimes to find balance. It's like, I'm one of those people like, I can't have a small piece of cake. Like if I'm going to eat the cake, I want to eat the cake. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm one of those people. It's like, all the way in or none at all, right? So it's very important for me to find balance and harmony. And, this has been one of my challenges here, right? And I'm finding it, and I'm learning how to not only have I found it, I'm learning how to hold on to it, because it can be tricky out here, in this energy with the two of Wands sideways. I feel like it could be a little bit of an imbalance somewhere. Okay. Now I know this is TMI, but there could be literally someone, and I don't know, someone's pH balance could be off. I went to the doctors today, so I don't know. You could have gone to the doctor. Someone's pH balance could literally be knocked off, And sometimes it's not even a sexual thing. It could be, the things we're eating. It could just be the soaps we're using, whatever, the laundry detergent. I don't know, but I just see something like, I don't know, something's off, or, maybe just something just feels off inside, And I get it, with the, what is it, the retrograde, right? Your emotions, your energy could be a little bit of everywhere. And don't forget, we just came out of the bucking moon. That was a very intense moon. That's where, like, the deers, they grow they grow bigger antlers. So they go from bucks to like a full grown deer. So it's a change in transformation, and you could be feeling this energy. It's one of those things where evil is very tricky right now, because you could be in partnerships, relationships, friendships with people, and you guys could be growing together. Right now, what evil wants to do is evil is in the energy of wanting to separate. We're in a war. It's spiritual. We fight against principalities and wickedness, right? So it's a spiritual war. It's not a war that we necessarily have to worry about fighting people, but we're fighting spirits, right? Try the spirit by the spirit. A lot of times when you get into relationships, right, and you'll be like, well, what who said it best? Usher. He was like, you remind me of a girl that I once knew, right? It's spiritual. So he knew the spirit before, right? It's like that kind of energy. So I feel like balance right now is very, very important for us as a collective. I'm talking about, like, even down to having your own independence in your relationships, your friendships, finding your own balance, standing, the wand, the two of wands is like a person that has two wands in their hand. They are completely in alignment, in balance. They are ready for whatever is ahead of them, because after the two of wands you have the three of wands, and that's where, like, shit is coming in and you can feel it because you've been doing the work. The two is where you've been planning, someone's been planning here, someone's like coming together with a strategy. There's someone, you could be like really getting your mind together. You could be like, okay, wait a minute, I've been weak in my mind for a while now. But when you have the two of wands here, that's two staffs that are in the ground that are going to hold you balanced down. Imagine being like, a person with a broken leg. They give you crutches because it gives you balance. That's the two of wands kind of energy. So there is divine balance here, but it was sideways. So there could be something that's trying to interfere with divine balance. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. Hello. So there could be something trying to, divide, separate, okay, split, right? A divine balance, a divine force, right? I'm hearing a force that can't, you're a force to be reckoned with. There could be something trying to knock something out of the way, off of its path, something trying to knock something or someone out of alignment. But, there's someone, and you just need to remember that even though the two of wands is sideways, when you have two wands in your hand, baby, you got complete balance. You're able to hold yourself up even if you have a broken leg, right? You're able to hold yourself stable, okay? Something about that, okay? You could be in a relationship and you could be feeling like a broken leg. Like, I feel like my leg is broken. But Spirit is saying, well, turn those wands around because stability is here. Sometimes you have to know how to maneuver things a different way, work around them, work together, figure it out. But when the two is here, that's divine balance, okay? Whether we know it or not, whether we accept it, whether we receive it, or whether we are able to acknowledge and embrace this energy is up to us. But I can tell you, number two is a number of balance. See, if you split two in the middle, you have an equal, it's equal. Okay, something about that. I don't care what it appears to be, but if you split it in the middle, it's going to be equal, right? So don't allow these two eyes right here to fool you, right? We should be so focused on our spiritual eye, our Ajna chakra, right? Our third eye chakra, because these eyes right here will fool us. See, these eyes, it's almost like these eyes, should almost, kind of be covered or something, right? Because they fool us, If I took shit, right, and I covered it with glitter and you couldn't smell it, right, but you could just see it, you would think, oh, she's giving me a pretty ball. But you didn't realize that I took shit, glitter, that's the world we live in, y'all, So you have to use your discernment out here as well. I don't know, because I'm going to discernment right now, There's someone, and, after years of, being impressed by shit covered in glitter, it's time for someone to rise above the surface of things, Yeah, Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Queen of Wands. You could be a Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries that just entered in here, but this is going to be an air sign. This is going to be a Libra, okay? I'm feeling a Libra here, Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini, but there's something about, you speaking up now, okay? You could be feeling imbalanced because maybe you have a lot to say, okay? Maybe you feel like you have something to speak about, and maybe you feel like, I don't know, there's some kind of imbalance that you can't speak or something like that. But I feel like divine balance is here. Maybe, sometimes we, as people, we have to learn that, all the time it ain't for us to talk. Sometimes it's for us to listen. Sometimes the teacher needs to be taught. And that's something that I'm learning myself, right? This could be you as well, right? Okay? You know, maybe you could be trying to vocalize yourself so much that it's bringing an imbalance, right? Maybe we need to learn when God is allowing someone else to speak, or, you know, maybe we need to learn when God is telling us to just sit back. Whatever it is, I don't know. I feel like a lot of us just want to be heard right now. You know, that's what I'm hearing. Like everybody, like, I just want to be heard, and I get it because I do too, right? Because we all have something to say, right? But I feel like, you know, with the Queen of Swords here, you know, your turn will come, right? You know, I know you have a lot of truth to speak. I'm hearing someone like you just want to get your truth out. You know, you just want the truth to be heard. You know, and it will be heard. Okay, you could be like you could work for legal aid. Okay, you could work in law. Okay, in law enforcement. Okay, you could be very witty, very intelligent, very intellectual. Okay, you could be an older woman or a woman who does not desire children. You could be really into your bag, your career. Okay, something about that. Okay. Someone that's, you know, very firm. Someone that is, you know, you could be a divine feminine woman, or you could be a man in your feminine energy, and you could just be a person that's you have a very strong mind. Okay, something about that, you know. There could be people that are frustrated because they can't really move your mind. Something about your intellect. Okay, I'm hearing you're very intelligent. Something like that, right? But I keep hearing even the teacher has to be taught, right? Something about that. Let's see. Yeah, look, we got the Wheel of Fortune here for you, number 10. Okay. So because you have been doing work, you bring in what you're supposed to. See, when you do work, you reap rewards, right? Now, we don't do the work for the rewards, but it's proof, it's evidence, right? You know when you just doing right and shit just go right for you because you just doing right, and then you feel bad because shit is just going right because all the time you did wrong, shit just went wrong. And you know, now when you're doing right, it's just like you feel like something should go wrong because things went wrong for so long. Get out of that energy. Okay? Get out of that energy. Okay? Get you a library card. Hello? Right? So something about that here. I don't know. Okay? I feel like there could be someone, you could be a speaker, and your speaking could bring in a fortune for you, okay? Your words could be worth a lot. Like, you know, someone could want to pay you to come and speak for them or something like that. Okay? I just picked that up. There could be someone, someone could be wanting you to come out and do something for them. There could be someone, your whole world could be changed because of the words that you speak. Okay? You could be a person that's very wise. You could be enlightening the collective. You could be very balanced. Okay? You could be a person that is, very logical. You know how to think with your mind. And you know you know how to make mind over heart decisions, and sometimes that's hard, but I feel like you're a person that you know how to make very good decisions. You could be a person that speaks very well. Okay, you can have a large vocabulary. You could actually irritate people because you know big words. Okay, your vocabulary could irritate people is what I just heard. Okay, people could be frustrated because you make them have to look shit up. Something about that. You could be very intelligent here. It says, if life was easy or simple, how would God get the glory? Hello. And it's crazy because I actually heard this in we were watching a program, and I heard that, if life was easy or simple, how would God get the glory, right? See, because if life was easy, who would praise God, right? You wouldn't have time. You'd be praising yourself, right? Okay? So it's like, your life is not expected to be an easy life. Your life is an example of what God is, who God is, right? That is what you represent. So life is not supposed to be easy for you. Okay. However, you do have assistance. You notice that every time you're stuck in something, every time something's going on, assistance is always there for you, always available. Someone, your ancestors are here right now. Someone, a lady, this is a lady. She could have had like gray twist locks, something like this. I'm seeing like gray hair, like gray and white hues or something like this. This is a very ancient, wise energy. This is a very brown, caramel complected woman. Okay. This is a very powerful woman, very strong woman. This woman could have also been like a widow for the last 10 years of her life, and she was very strong. Something about that. This could be someone's grandmother that I'm channeling or something like that. I don't know. She could have been an Aries, Leo, Aquarius, or a Taurus is what I just picked up. Or this could be you. Let's see. Your name could be Tia, T-I-A, Art, A-R-T, Arthur. You could be an author. You could be writing a book here or something like that. Okay? You could be learning that you write you write your own story. You write the pages to your own book. You could be redesigning the story of your own life. Something about that. Okay? You could also be an artist. Okay? You could be very artistic. I don't know. I just smelled the Black and Mild. Someone could be smoking Black and Mild or something like that. It was a very thick kind of smoke. Someone definitely is smoking a Black and Mild. Here's what I just smelled. Taste. It was in my throat. Okay. I just heard Charmaine. This could be your name or significant. This could be your cousin's name or something like that. I just heard something about that here. Let's see. Yeah, look. Remember I said Queen of Wands before I pulled the Queen of Swords? So I knew it was something about a Queen of Wands here. Remember I said you could be a Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo? I felt your energy, okay? So I don't know if there's a Queen of Swords trying to teach you something. Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, fire sign, Sun, Moon, or Rising, okay? I don't know if you were raised by an Aquarius. I don't know why I said Aquarius, but yeah, Aquarius could be significant. I don't know. Your parent could be like an Aquarius here. This person could have been very opinionated, okay? And you could be like very spunky. You know, you could be like just very free, very flamboyant, very open, very curious about life. Yeah, look, 8 of Cups. Yeah, okay? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you moved on from a situation with an older woman or something like that. Okay? I don't know if you have been raised by, I don't know if you have different beliefs than your mom, your parent, whoever this lady is. This could be a sister, a friend, or a family member. I don't know. There's someone, and I feel like, someone could be trying to give someone some advice here, and you could be turning your back. You could be not wanting to hear this advice. You could be walking away from a situation. Okay. Someone walked away from alcohol here. Kudos to you. Okay. Kudos to you. Right? I still like some wine. I do. Okay? I haven't walked completely away from it. Okay? Right? But kudos to you. I'm working on it, y'all. Right? One day at a time, one thing at a time, right? But there's something about someone who did. Someone could have been like literally, honestly though, like, I don't know if someone has gone to like some kind of AA and literally walked away from a very bad alcohol addiction or drug addiction or sex addiction or whatever it is, prostitution or something crazy. I don't know, whatever it is, but someone's walked away from something major. Like, this is something that you can be proud of. This is something that like a lot of people can't do this. A lot of people can't walk away from these kind of things. You know, these kind of strongholds that really hold people down. I feel like there's someone, you walked away from something major to walk right into your spiritual journey, to walk right into your purpose, to walk right into your ministry, your gift, you know. Someone walked right into, you know, abundance or something like that because you walked away from a thing, because you had, you know, faith, belief that you could change, that things would get better, that you didn't have to self-medicate, that you didn't need to rely or depend on anything other than the Most High. Okay? I don't know. Mustard, you could, your favorite color could be like mustard yellow or something like that, or burnt orange, olive green is what I'm picking up. This could be your favorite color or significant. You could be in the army, the military. I'm seeing a uniform here. Okay, thank you for your service. You could have been in the military from the last 8 to 10 years here. Okay, you could be retiring in 8 to 10 years. You could be you could have an 18-year-old child, or you could be 18, but we got the 8 of Swords here to the King of Swords. Okay, I don't know. Someone feels trapped or something. Okay, in a situation. It's crazy because, you know, the 8 of Swords is when someone feels trapped in a situation, but really the bondage is because you won't pull the blindfold off your own eyes. So it's like, you know, it's that energy of, you know, you can't move forward because you won't move. Like that kind of energy. So there could be someone feeling stuck, stagnant, trapped here. Okay, in a situation. There could be someone literally, someone could have become incarcerated. Someone could be doing a bid here, or someone could be facing jail time. Someone could be facing 8 to 10 years here. Okay, 8 to 16 years. Okay, Yeah, I'm seeing a judge here. Someone could be going to trial or something like that. There could be a trial here. Okay. Someone could have did something because they felt trapped in a situation. You know, it's crazy. We were watching, I was watching the unfolding of the lady, the young girl, the young sister who unalived her supervisor at McDonald's. And, you know, in my heart, in my spirit, when I seen it, I was so drawn to the story because, for one, when I looked at her, I knew that if I could reach her, I could help her. You know, I know that my gift is able to extend to those kind of places, but I feel like, you know, these people that really need help, they get surrounded by so many false things that, you know, they begin to lose hope. And they begin to snap, right? And I'm just saying that, you know, there's someone here. Someone could have literally snapped about a situation. There could be someone going to court. Someone's future could be on the line here. Okay, someone could have did something to you or something. I don't know. You could have walked away from a situation because someone did something. Okay, maybe you never speak up, but you finally spoke up. Something like that. Okay, you could be a person that normally doesn't, you know, speak on what's going on, but you could have been tired of this situation. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles. Okay. Someone's kicking out some money for something. Court. I told you, someone could be paying a lawyer here. Something about a rabbit. Good luck. A rabbit foot. A bunny. A hare. Your nickname could be Bunny. I feel like, dang. Yeah, something's crazy. Someone, I don't know, this could be dropped here, I guess. Look, Ace of Swords. There could be a court case that could be dropped, y'all. Look, Ace of Swords. This is the truth here. Some kind of truth and clarity could bring something to light here. There could be someone, and, you know, the outcome of a situation could be something totally different than someone thinks here. Because some kind of truth and clarity, Someone's a star. Someone didn't know that someone was a star here. Okay, yeah, strength card. Okay, there could be someone going through some real shit right now. Okay, something they feel like they can't get through, but Spirit is like, do you know who you are? There could be someone falsely accused for something or something like that. There could be someone going through something where you're being falsely accused and you're like breaking down or something, but God is saying that the truth will be revealed here with the Ace of Swords, okay? The truth is always going to come out. Something about that, you know, the Hierophant always says, Uncle Harv always says that, you know, God he moves the heart of men, right? So you could be in a situation where it feels like your back is up against the wall, right? But don't forget that, you know, God comes through at the last moment, the last minute, up until, you know, you feel like you don't have any more time. You ever been in a situation where your back was up against the wall and it was like you had 2 minutes left and God came through when it was 30 seconds left? That's the kind of energy that I'm feeling. Someone needs to know that no matter what the situation looks like, it doesn't mean that it's not going to go in your favor. And someone else needs to also know that, guess what? Sometimes things don't go in your favor because you need to feel what we've put our own selves through. You know how sometimes we put ourselves through our own situations and then we want God to rescue us. Hurry up, come get me. I can't hear from you, Lord. I don't know what's happening. Why did this keep happening to me? Because you need to learn it. Because this is a lesson that you refuse to accept, learn, grow from. It's a lesson that you need to be taught. So you have to go. You have to feel this pain this time. Because guess what? The last 5 times I helped you out of it and you didn't learn shit from it. You didn't learn anything and you keep doing it. So this time you're going to feel this pain, this repercussion. This time if you spend your money and you don't pay your bills, you will be outside. This time if you don't pay your car payment, you won't have a car. This time if you don't go to work, you won't have a job. Like, this is the energy that I'm feeling. So responsibility, to whom much is given, much is required. You could be feeling like a burden here, overwhelmed, like a lot going on, but just know that there's a greater, do you understand what you're here for? Like, you know, you're just not, you're not a regular, ordinary kind of person, you know? Stop expecting life to be ordinary or normal for you. There's never going to be an ordinary or normal for a person that's not ordinary or normal. Hello? Okay. See, when you are a star, okay, I can't show this, but when you are a star, there's certain qualities about you that, you know, there's certain things that you just have to do. You know, a star is going to be someone that God uses because you illuminate. You're bright. You lighten things up. So sometimes God will use you in situations that hurt, in situations that seem unfair, in situations that seem like you don't have the upper hand. However, you just have to understand that because you are a star, you are meant to do certain things because guess what? You work for the Most High Divine God. And guess what? Some of your position, there's no explanation. You just got to do it, okay? There's no job detail when you're working for God, right? When you're working for God, it's not like when you go and you do a job application and you like, well, that's not in my job description, baby. When you over here, it ain't no job description. You do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, okay? That's what we sign up for over here on the side of divinity. It's like, you know, stepping into the unknown. That's exactly what it is, right? It's like, you know, God, I don't know exactly what you want me to do, but I'm willing to do whatever you want me to do because I'm here to do what you want me to do. And I know this shit is confusing and I know this shit is scary, but guess what? I'm willing to do it because I know that if I do this, I'm on the right side. I know if I do this, I'm working for my purpose. You know, I know if I do this, things will be better for me. I know if I do this, my life is getting better. Right? Okay. So let's see. I don't know, there's some kind of truth and clarity here, okay? Someone could have walked away from a situation. There could have been someone that literally walked away from someone because they have become incarcerated, but remain vigilant. Ooh. It says remain vigilant, keeping careful watch for possible danger or difficulties, Okay? So I don't know if you have a crazy on the loose. You have a person that's totally obsessed with you, crazy in the mind. Okay? Someone's mind. You know, back when I used to be young, when I was young, I thought it was so cute. You know, if someone was acting crazy with me, I'm like, look at them acting crazy over me. Not anymore. Right? We have to understand that there are literally people right now, men and women, and they cannot control their own thoughts. They are moving and you know, they have allowed a spirit, a demon, an entity, or whatever to be attached to them because they refuse to ask God to help them, right? They refuse to try to do the work. So, you know, when you start doing shortcuts, when you start, you know, taking deals with evil, right? When you start accepting offers and gifts from evil, you know, taking the shortcuts, you know, that's what happens. But remain vigilant, keeping careful watch for possible danger or difficulty. That ain't saying be scared, because don't be scared. But what it is saying is be ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Like that kind of energy. You know, a lot of us went around in life for so long thinking like, oh no, this person could never do this to me. Well, I had to learn that shit, anybody will do that to you, right? And I feel like, you know, we are so wise now that we, you know, we can be wise enough not to go around and judge. We can be wise enough to embrace, but also smart enough to use our discernment to know, like, you know, if you F around, you just might find out, right? So let's see. Where y'all at tonight? Where y'all at? What's up, y'all? Okay, so apparently, you know, you're held in high honors, you know? The Six of Wands is like, you know, this is the energy where I feel like there's someone, and I don't know if like, I don't know, I'm hearing hometown hero. Ooh, okay. Now that's crazy because, you know, a lot of times when you are a prophet, or, you know, you are a person that God chose to give a word, a lot of times you are not accepted in your hometown, your home place, right? You know, people that grew up with you tend to, you know, they want to hold you to a certain, you know, they want you to always be that person that they know. A lot of times they don't respect your growth. They can't. It's hard, right? Imagine if you grew up with a person for all these years. Maybe they had a bunch of flaws, right? And now God has delivered them and they are a different person. Well, it can be very hard for some people to respect and accept who you are now. But it's like, someone's gonna be angry because it is what it is. Like right now, this is the energy of where God sits you in front of your enemies. Like, you know, all the shit you talked about people, you know, all of the things you have done behind this person's back. Now you have people looking like, I thought you said this person wasn't cool. I thought you said this person was this. I thought you said this person was that. But, you know, what's happening now is the truth is being revealed. Okay? The truth is actually being revealed right now. You know, a lot of people that put out all of these false narratives about you, they're even saying like, damn, I should have just stayed on their team for real. You know, a lot of your people that you have separated from, you know, people that you genuinely love, but, you know, I'll say actually a lot of people separated themselves from you because they did things that will no longer allow them to be in your space, because God doesn't play about you, you know? There are certain people, and when they are genuine, and when they are loyal, and when they are people that are out here spreading love and light and humanity, and they are really about what they're talking about, I mean, their intentions are pure. They're not out here really trying to hurt anybody. They're not trying to manipulate, because that's the problem with a lot of people. A lot of people have spiritual gifts, but they're manipulators, okay? I ain't gonna say they ain't got no gifts, they do. But they will spiritually manipulate you, okay? So, you know, be careful. I'm just going to say that, right? But whoever you are, you're held in high honor. I feel like it's your integrity, you know? Your spiritual integrity. You know, I feel like I'm talking to a person where, You know, you're not a person that has to go around speaking about everything that you do. I'm talking to a person that it resonates so deep in my heart that most of the things that you do are done in the dark. And I love this for you, you know. I feel like, you know, you are a person who truly just desires to really be a good person. So it's not that you do things for people to really see that it was you, right? You know, you're not one of those people that be like, "Oh, I'm out here feeding the homeless." Well, you know, you got your iPhone 25 and you know, you recording the homeless people. And you out here like, "Yeah, buddy, we out here with the homeless." You got the homeless on the camera. You know, not really, you know, that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone that literally does the work behind the scenes. You know, it's like God is the only one that knows what's going on back here, regardless to what man thinks. And it's crazy because the person that I'm talking to, there's a lot of people that think you're evil and wicked, and they think that, you know, you're something that you're totally not. You know, and that's crazy because imagine being one of God's favorites, right? Because favor is not fair, right? So you ever seen a person and you like, they just keep on messing up, keep on doing things. You like, God just keeps favoring them because favor is literally not fair. And once you learn that, you'll be like, okay, you know, you better see the God in everybody, because if not, God will humble you, right? Seriously, okay? You turn your nose up to somebody you think they stink, God to have you with no house and your ass to be stinking too, right? You know, that's the kind of energy. So I don't know. I feel like, you know, I don't know. I just feel like a good person here. You could be, you could own horses or a stable, or, I don't know. You could have a very nice body, okay? Something like that. You could be, I just heard brick, dirty house. Hey, she's mighty mighty, just letting it all hang out. She's a brick. Hey, how? Someone could be very thick here. Okay, something like that. Okay, you could look very good. Okay, let's see. Let me get one of these. I just heard, I am in love with you. You set me free. I can't do this thing called life without you here with me. Okay. Did someone just go to the Cowboy Carter tour or something like that? Someone's a Beyonce fan. Someone just went to a tour or something. It says, what is the deeper meaning? Ooh, I like this card. Okay. When challenges arise, am I searching for a deeper understanding? Ooh, I like that. You know, I wrote that because I like that. You know, we should be at a point where, you know, when challenges begin to arise, and this is what I'm teaching myself, and so I'm teaching you guys as well, you know, and it can be very hard, but when challenges arise, am I searching for a deeper understanding of why this is happening, right? What am I learning from this? You know, if it's something that I've been through before, why am I repeating this? Obviously, if you're repeating something, if you feel like you're in a repetitive cycle over and over and over, I'm on an emotional roller coaster, right? If you feel like that, that means that something's got to change. Okay? Right? What is the deeper meaning of the things that you're going through? Because everything has a deeper meaning, you know? Like, what is the, you know, like a health condition. You're like, what are the underlying issues, right? You know? Remember when COVID was out and they were like, people who had underlying issues were really going to be affected, right? What are the underlying issues here? You know, what is the deeper meaning? What is God really trying to show me, right? You know, if you're going through a situation and your money keep being messed up, right? And you feel like you keep coming up short, I have, right? You got to be like, what is the deeper meaning? Is it because I don't know how to handle money? I'm mismanaging money, right? Because a lot of times we can be poor managers of things. And, you know, when God gives us things to be a manager and you're poor, your ass getting fired, just like you on a job. You know, imagine God giving you this job and you mismanaging your position. It's the same energy, you know? Same spiritual responsibility that you have at work when you clock in. Same energy. If you don't perform your job well, you get fired, okay? Right? So it's important that we do our spiritual jobs just as well as we do everything else. Okay? What is the deeper meaning? When challenges arise, am I searching for a deeper understanding of what's really happening? Right? Right? So, you know, I missed the bus for work, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I done missed the bus, I'm gonna be late, right? Well, Lord, why did I miss this bus? I need to, I don't know, you know? Well, guess what? It's probably because I'm not getting up on time. I'm not getting enough sleep, right? I need to dig deeper and see what's going on. What are the underlying issues of these challenges that keep arising in my life, right? See, because in order to get new results, we have to 222 on the clock, right? 222 on the clock, 222 on the clock, 222 on the clock, right? But in order to get new results, we have to do new things, okay? I don't know, I'm too turned up. Remain vigilant, okay? Let's see. Ooh, I done dropped them and I'm not getting them. Okay. High Priestess to the Hierophant. You could be a divine couple. Okay. Divine balance. I don't know. You could be like a power couple. You could just have a lot of knowledge. You could be very, you know, unorthodox. You could have been a person that was like, I don't know. I feel like, you know, very traditional at one point. But with the High Priestess here, I don't know. You could be very, I can't even think of the word I was trying to think. I'm going to just say mysterious. Okay? Right? Your name could be Brent. Last name could be Johnson, Jordan, James. Okay? Brandon is showing up. BJ. Okay? Something about the pomegranate is here. You know, pomegranates are good for like your blood, your cholesterol, your blood pressure, things like that. Okay? Pomegranate juice is very good for like your cholesterol and things, I think like that. Your cholesterol. Okay? That's very good to drink. Someone could be needing to drink that. Okay. Look, I see the Seven of Swords here. Trying to sneak in the bottom of the deck. So we got the Four of Wands in the reverse here. So I don't know. Someone doesn't feel stable. Someone feels like there's no stability or something like that. I don't know. There could be a home wrecker here too. I've been picking at. I know that's crazy, right? I know that's crazy. I just said that, but that's the truth. There could be a home wrecker, like, you know, and I don't necessarily feel like anybody can really wreck anybody's home, but I feel like the home wrecking spirit, you know, like a dirty person, like that has no regards for people. They just want things. So that's a person they will do anything just to get the things that they want. They will step on anybody, lay with anybody, do whatever is necessary to get things that they want, because some people, you know, they worship things. They admire things. They desire things. They don't care about people, feelings, right? So I don't know. There could be some kind of home wrecking energy kind of spirit here. Okay. I don't know. I feel like if you are in a divine partnership, keep people out your business. Okay. There's a lot of people who love to act like they love, but there's a lot of people that don't even love themselves. So how could they love you in a happy relationship and they don't even love them damn selves, right? And when those people come around, you have to be aware of what's really going on. There's a lot of people that do not know how to love. They don't. They don't love themselves. Like deep down, there's a lot of people, I don't care how attractive they are, right? The most beautiful, the most handsome. There's a lot of people that truly do not love themselves. So how could they possibly love you properly? They can't. Okay? They can't. Right? Especially when you're a person that you do love yourself and you're held in high honors. You're a person that you're okay with your flaws. You're a person that's, you know, you're cool with that, right? You're held in high honors, and, you know, when you're held in high honors and you're cool with your flaws and all these different things, some people don't like that. Yeah, imbalance. Look, the two of Pentacles here in the reverse. Yeah, look, Six of Swords. I don't know. Yeah, 'cause I feel like, I don't know, you moved away from some kind of imbalanced situation. Okay, something tried to hold on to you. Yep. Bad investments. Let's see. Look, I said bad investments. Look at this, y'all. I can't make this up. I did not see this. I did not see this. Hey, Peach. What's up? Okay, investments, relationships, assets, self, and time. So I feel like it's very important for you. Look at this. Like, this is so important. You got the Fool card here. Okay, so this tells me, like, you know, this is time for you to just be in the energy of, you know, just ready to go. You know, the Fool energy is like that energy where it's like, you know, you ready to, it's almost like, I guess you would call it like energy if you, like, imagine a person that, you know, you're going to get on a roller coaster, or you're going to go bungee jumping or skydiving or something, you know, like that energy you get when your adrenaline is rushing and it's like, you know, it's time to go and you're willing to just go. You know, it's like you could be at the edge of the cliff and God is telling you, go, just jump. I got you. It's that kind of energy. It's that time. It's go time. It's like, you know, when God is pushing you, nudging you and telling you to go, when you feel your spirit saying it's time to go, when you feel yourself saying it's time to change, when you feel yourself saying something needs to go, something's different. This is that energy. Something's changing here for you. Okay? You could be starting a new journey here. Okay, you know, the Fool is like when it's the beginning of the tarot journey. You know, that's the number 0 in the tarot deck. It's the beginning of a journey. So you could be a person that, you know, you could be like, well, I've ascended to a higher place. Well, God is saying you got higher places to go because this is just the beginning for you. Okay. You could be very knowledgeable, but there's so much more for you to learn. You don't know half of what God needs you to know. Okay? And I know this to be true because whatever it is, you got the 9 to the 10 of cups. What? Come on now. Like, this is the energy of taking a journey that is so fulfilling because you're finding out who you are. It brings you pure emotional bliss, fulfillment, right? Imagine being so emotionally fulfilled with who you are inside, right? That's true love. Like when you can be emotionally fulfilled with who you are, then you're able to give off pure and genuine love. Okay? So I don't know, the 9 to the 10 of cups, there could be like a lot of love making, okay? There could be a lot of romance, a lot of dating, a lot of fun, a lot of just intense emotions. You know, there could be someone, you could just be, you know, coming into a clear emotional understanding of who you are. Like, you know, you can really be understanding who you are on an emotional level. You could be really learning, like, you know, the things that trigger you. You could be really learning the ways to calm yourself down. You could be really learning how to just, you know, get it together. Okay, definitely rich and blissful. Okay, Peach, hello. Right, there could be a lot of celebrating. I see a lot of wine glasses, a lot of celebrations. I see a lot of cups. I see a lot of emotions. I see a lot of togetherness. I see things being mended. There could be someone definitely going to therapy. Okay, there could be someone that has gone to those dark places and done shadow work. There could be someone who has really done some things here, and now it's like, the Nine of Cups is like a genie in a bottle. It's like, that's when your wishes, that's when we turn their dreams into reality. We turning dreams into reality. It's like that kind of energy. It's like when you're turning when your dreams become reality, and you are emotionally mature enough to accept the things that you truly want in life. Because a lot of times in life we say we want things, but we truly don't know what we be wanting. We be thinking we want some things, but we don't be really knowing. Right? Because then you could think you want something, then God gives it to you, and then it's like, you don't even know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, how like Yo Gotti and Angela Simmons, right? He called her out for all that time, right? Talking about Angela Simmons, it goes down, and I love Gotti. No, you know what I'm saying? But he chased her down for all these years just to get her, and now don't know what to do with her, right? In my opinion, right? Okay, what is my opinion? Just like, we all got opinions just like assholes, but I just felt like giving mine. Right? But that's what happens, So we got the Hermit in reverse here. So you've been in solitude long enough. You've been alone long enough. You've been on your own long enough. It's soul tribe energy. You don't have to be alone. There's people just like you. There's people that can't wait to meet you. There's people that can't wait to connect with you, to work with you, to hear your opinion, your story, your testimony, to hug you, to love you, to show you authentic relationships. There's people here for you. So you've done a lot of time of solitude and being by yourself and being off and out of the way. And now it's time for you to show up, because there's people waiting on you. Okay? There's people waiting on you. You don't have to be so defensive anymore. Remember, it's like, we ain't even gotta fight no more. Hey, dear Lord, you've been fighting all our battles, right? So, I don't know. I feel like you can let your guards down a little bit. A lot of us, we want new friends. We want new family, because we want to, we had to learn that, blood is not always family, right? Your family are the people that you truly love, the ones you can call at 2:00 in the morning and be like, my car broke down, can you come get me? The ones that you can call and ask for $20 for gas and they don't talk about you. The ones that, are just there for you because they truly love you. You can let your guards down, because those people are here, right? But you have to be open to allowing these people in. I know you've been hurt so many times, and now, like, it's kind of hard to let people in, but you have to understand, when you're doing right, when you're living a certain way, like attracts like, it's the law of attraction, right? You get out what you get back what you put out. So you're putting out goodness, so you're attracting goodness. So don't be scared of what you're attracting. Okay? Yeah, look, Page of Swords here. Okay? There could be people talking about you, speaking about you. Your ears could be itching, right? You could be just feeling very anxious, because you could be feeling the energy of people just gossiping about you, talking about you. But, I hate to tell you, it's not going to get any better. You have to think about what you're doing. You're out here manifesting the life that you desire. You're out here trying to be something greater. You're out here doing something better than you did yesterday. People are always going to talk. Okay? Right? Personal readings are available. You have to inbox us, boo. Inboxes. Okay? So, right? Oh my gosh, I'm dropping all these cards. And I was supposed to be going to sleep. I was supposed to be going to sleep, but Spirit was like, someone needs this message. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to get on here because somebody really needs this, you know? Somebody really needs this message. So let me get on here. But I'm about to get off of here. And I'm going to let y'all go, and I'll be back in the morning. Look, 10 of Wands. Someone, I don't know, you feel like, someone could be feeling like they're carrying a burden by themselves, but you're not. You're not. I told you, look, it's equal, give and take. I told you weren't carrying anything by yourself. Look at this. Equal give and take. Okay, God is always with you. You don't have to do anything by yourself. I told you it's the trick of the enemy to make you feel like you have to do everything on your own. Like there's a burden when God is saying it's equal. I got you. You do your part and I'm going to take care of everything else. You know, this is like the energy of God sending you in help. Okay, remember I was saying God uses people to help, to move, you know, he moves the heart of men to get things done, right? Something about that. I feel like there's an energy here wanting you to feel like, you know, life is too much. It's too hard to do this. It's too hard to obtain this. It's too hard to achieve this, right? It's an illusion here. Okay, 6 of Pentacles is here. There could be someone, you could be, someone could be donating to a charity and organization. Someone could be just getting more money. Things could be balancing out. There could be someone receiving some money that's been held back from them. There could be someone, your income taxes could have been held, or some kind of large amount of money, some kind of settlement. Something's being released here. Okay? Something could have had a hold on it, a lien. Something was holding something up. Now it's released now. Someone needs to know that something has been released, okay? You have to believe this, right? Because this could even be spiritual. There could be a spiritual blockage here. And you need to know that this has been released off of you. But do you believe that it's been released? Because if you hold, imagine, remember in the Bible, there was a woman being accused of something and she was stuck down like this. And God was like, you know, Jesus was like, well, why are you still like this? Your accusers are gone. Get up. You know? Get up. Right? Look. 9 of Pentacles. A secure life, you know, where you don't have to really have a title. You don't really have to, you know, be known to man, but it's like, you know, the birds know you, nature knows you, Mother Gaia knows you, God knows you. You know, you're connected to source. You could be a person that studies ornithomancy. You could be a person that's very connected with birds. Okay. Number 9. You know, number 9 is like the number right before you go to 10. So I feel like 9 is like, you know, 9 is that number of like, you know, this is where we're going next. You know, 9 takes you to that stage of completion. So you could be a master at something. Look, 3 of Cups to the Tower. Does that make sense? I think so. I feel like, you know, I feel like the Tower comes, right? So some shit happens. Some things happen. Some pain comes. Some suffering comes. Some troubles come. Some challenges come. But guess what? In the end, it's a celebration because all things work for the good of those who believe in the Most High. Don't be tricked. Don't be fooled, right? There's a celebration. Why? Because you're changing, you're growing, right? Right? Something about that, right? There could be someone, you could be attending a baby shower. Look, the Empress is here. You could definitely be pregnant. Someone could have just attended a baby shower or something like that. You could be very nurturing, very loving. Definitely a Libra. Number 3 could be significant. You could be a life path number 3. Okay? Trace. Uno, dos, tres. Okay? Trace. So you got the Seven of Swords coming out to the side with the Sun to the side. Someone wants to steal your joy, your abundance, your energy, your time, your smile. You know, this is crazy. Totally absurd. To be honest with you. It's a low vibrational energy. It's a succubus kind of energy. It's very low vibration. It's a tricky energy, you know. That's why I don't recommend that you guys be playing around with no spirits. Like, you know, don't be conjuring nothing up. Because a lot of people, what they're doing is they're conjuring shit up, and then when the shit comes out, they wanted to go back home, and you know, the spirit is like, no, I want to play. You know, you conjure some shit up, it ain't just gonna go away. Like, you can't be conjuring things up and, you know, doing sorcery of all kinds of things, and then when these things pop up and these spirits want to play, peekaboo, you like, oh, I don't want to play no more. The spirit like, oh, I do. Let's go. You called me. Hello. Right. People love playing with them spirits. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's almost 3 in the morning. What they say? 2 a.m. The night's still young. Live by the gun, you're gonna die by the gun. Ain't no handouts for nobody. When I had, they ain't give me nothing. Okay. I don't know why I just heard that Superstar, I believe. What's his name? See, that was another young talented brother that, you know, maybe with the right, you know, mental health awareness, maybe with the right guidance, could have been saved, right? All right, let's see. Spirit, give me some energy before we go here. What does the collective need to know to close this message out? Give me something good here. What is something very powerful that we can leave this message on? I'll take 1 card of each. Let's get something very powerful. A very powerful message to end this, to close this out. What is the overall ending of this message? What do we need to take away from this? What do we need to take away from this message? Ooh. Let's see. Okay. Period. We got the 8 of Swords in the reverse, so no longer feeling trapped, okay? Knowing that, you know, this too shall pass. I release myself from any bondage. I am no longer bound by anything. Nothing controls me, right? Nothing can stop me, right? Okay? It says, I love even the most unattractive parts of myself. I am happy with who I am, and who I see in the mirror. And if not, I understand that it is my duty to correct this. Hello? I'm going to read that one more time. I love even the unattractive parts of myself. I am happy with who I am and who I see in the mirror. And if I'm not, I understand that it is my duty to correct this. With the 8 of Swords in the reverse, I see a lot of healing, a lot of growth, and a lot of accountability. That was your message. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining my channel again. I hope that you guys enjoyed the message. If you did, make sure you guys come back and join us. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm High Priestess Lala.